Hello you guys and welcome back to Hot Girls Eat Carbs. I'm your host Brittany McChrystal and this is your safe space of the internet where we chat all things health, wellness and sustainable weight loss. Welcome to 2026. I cannot believe that we are finally here and I am so excited to bring on the year with you. Now, if you are a new listener here, welcome to the podcast. I am so excited to have you here. And for those of you who have been listening for a while, welcome back. You guys mean so much to me and I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in and let's have the best year yet. Now, a few of you, if you have been listening for a while, may have realized that this episode is a little bit late. I did this on purpose. I held back this episode so I could just drop it today because we are locking in and this is our year. I figured this whole podcast is about becoming the best version of yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally. So what better way to start the year than with a brand new episode right here on January the 1st. This episode is going to be your blueprint for 2026. So if you are ready to feel good in your body, get consistent with your habits and become that girl, the one you keep visualizing, the one who shows up for yourself, this is for you. We're talking alignment, confidence, energy, and how to actually stay grounded in your goals without falling back into that all or nothing thinking. I want you to look back in December and be like, damn, I actually did this. So I just got back from spending Christmas in New Zealand with my family. It was such a fun trip and oh my goodness, you guys, I ate. I really ate. There was so much food and it was all so good. Oh my goodness, I had the best time. But now we are back in Melbourne and I am ready to lock in. I'm having a full reset, a full haul of my habits, my space, and my energy for 2026. And I'm bringing you along with me. So for New Year's, we decided that we weren't going to do anything this year. We decided to come back earlier from New Zealand and actually just really start the year off strong. We decided that we didn't want to wake up another year and be on the back foot. So I have been doing a whole life haul of my apartment this week. I've been cleaning everything and just getting a really, really good reset because I think that there's nothing better than going into a new year just feeling so grounded, so aligned, and so ready to make this year the best one. And I just feel so good about 2026 because I'm going to be real with you guys, 2025 for me sucked. For you guys that are new here and you don't know, I went through a lot of challenges last year. So I actually lost my dad in May and I was over and living in Thailand. I've been there for 2 years and I basically got the call from my mum super out of the blue randomly basically being like, hey, I don't know how to tell you this. And then she just basically dropped it on me and it was like the worst news of my whole entire life. It was so horrible. And then a few other really not nice things happened, but also I haven't really touched on this properly, but when I was in Thailand, I got some news to come back to Australia. So it was a really exciting opportunity. And that's actually why it was kind of like a spur of the moment thing to move back here. So I moved my whole entire life. And unfortunately, that opportunity that I had fell through pretty quickly when I got back to Melbourne. And that was a bit gut-wrenching, but it's okay. Onwards and upwards from here, and we are going to make 2026 our year. So let's get into today's episode. If you want this year to feel different, you have to start showing up differently. Not harder, not perfectly, just differently. And I know that sounds so simple, maybe a little bit too simple, but this is where most people go wrong. They jump into the new year with a big to-do list, a workout plan, a strict new diet, and they look at what they want to change, but they skip the part where they actually ask, who do I want to become this year? Because goals without identity are hard to stick to. But when you start acting like the version of you're trying to become, even just a little, everything changes. So I want to start with 3 truths that you need to hear. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. And now I know I say that all of the time, but it is so important to hear. It's not about eating perfectly every day. It's not about hitting your steps exactly or never having a rest day. It's about showing up more often than not. It's about building trust with yourself, keeping small promises, because confidence doesn't come from having the perfect body. It comes from doing what you said that you would do. You don't need more motivation. You need a plan that makes it easy to keep showing up. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes, but systems are what keeps you grounded when you're tired, stressed, busy, or over it. This means having meals prepped even when you don't feel like cooking, knowing your go-to breakfast even when you've slept in, setting up your space to support your goals so you don't need to push all the time. You just flow. And you don't need to hate your body to want to change it. Now I want you to listen to that again. Your desire to grow doesn't have to come from a place of self-judgment. You are allowed to love parts of yourself and want to evolve. In fact, sustainable change starts from self-respect, not self-loathing. This is where we stop punishing ourselves for the holidays. This is where we stop starting the new year in guilt and shame. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. I want you to take a moment, pause this episode if you need to ask yourself, who do I want to become this year? Don't just think about how she looks. Think about how she feels. Is she calm, disciplined, free, energized, confident? What does she do on a regular day? What time does she wake up? What kind of meals does she eat? How does she speak to herself when things feel messy? What does she prioritize? What's been holding me back? And am I willing to let it go? Maybe it's the all or nothing mindset. Maybe it's your fear of failing. Maybe it's people pleasing. Maybe it's just the comfort of staying small. Whatever it is, I want you to say it out loud, acknowledge it, and start loosening your grip on it. Because you cannot build a version of yourself while still clinging to the identity of who you used to be. Now, this is where your year begins. Not with pressure, not with perfection, but with presence. This is about deciding who you are going to be and starting to show up for her. Not all at once, not dramatically, but with small, loving, consistent steps. Because you are not a project that needs fixing. You're a person who deserves support, structure, and space to grow. Now let's talk about that structure. Because we used to think of the happiest, healthiest, most aligned version of ourselves, we often picture a future moment, a big milestone, a transformation photo, a day where everything finally clicks. But the truth is, that version of you, she's not created in some moment. She's built in your everyday moments. She's built in your mornings, in your meals, in the way that you talk to yourself when things don't go to plan. This is your blueprint, the daily rhythm of the woman that you are becoming. So she starts her day with intention. This doesn't mean a perfect 5 a.m. routine with journaling, lemon water, and 10K steps before 7 a.m. It means that she chooses how her day begins, instead of letting it happen to her. For you, that might look like not hitting snooze for the 4th time, getting outside for a walk or stretch, listening to this podcast while brushing your teeth, choosing a high-protein breakfast over skipping food and then binging later. It's not about doing everything, it's about doing something that sets the tone. She eats balanced, satisfying meals. She fuels her body. She doesn't live off coffee until 3 p.m. and she doesn't starve then binge. Her meals are full of flavor, full of color, and full of substance because she knows her body. She deserves to be nourished. And yes, she eats chocolate, she eats pasta, and she doesn't let those things throw her off because she's built her day around structure and not shame. Food is not the enemy. It is the tool that helps her feel good, show up with energy, and stay consistent. She moves her body regularly. Not every day is a heavy gym session, and not every week is perfectly programmed, but she moves because she knows how good it makes her feel. It might be a 30-minute strength session, a long walk with a podcast, a boxing class, or just a 15-minute stretch because her back is tight and her mood is low. She doesn't move to punish herself. She moves to support herself because movement is her anchor. She sets boundaries. Now this is a big one because so much of the clutter in your life isn't just physical. It's digital, emotional, and mental. The healthiest version of you protects her energy. She doesn't scroll for hours comparing herself. She says no to the things that drain her. She logs off when she needs to, and she doesn't feel guilty for prioritizing herself. She chooses where her energy goes, and she protects it like it's sacred. And when she's had a bad day, she doesn't spiral, because she knows that she's human. She might miss a workout, she might eat emotionally, and she might have a day where she does nothing right. But she doesn't let it become a reason to give up. She gets back into rhythm. She forgives herself and moves forward. Her power isn't in being perfect. It's in her ability to bounce back gently and quickly. So let me remind you of this. This structure, it's not revolutionary, it's not glamorous, and it's not trending on TikTok. But it works because consistency will always win over intensity. If you build this kind of rhythm into your life, even at 70%, you'll look back in March, June, and September and see a woman who is lighter, clearer, stronger, and more proud of herself than ever before. So don't overthink it. Just start building your rhythm. Now let's talk about food, not just calories and not just macros. Let's talk about how you feel around food. Because if you're constantly thinking about what you should or shouldn't eat, if you're always either on track or starting again Monday, if food feels chaotic, stressful, or like a full-time job, that is not balance, and it's not healthy, and it's not sustainable. But what if food could be simple again? What if you could enjoy a burger with your friends and still feel in control the next day? What if you could lose weight without cutting out carbs, giving up dinners out, or saying no to birthday cake? That's exactly what we do inside my one-on-one coaching, and that is what I want for you too. So let's break it down. Here is the nutrition blueprint I want you to follow in 2026. Eat enough, but don't starve yourself. This is the number one mistake I see women make. They undereat. They think it'll speed up fat loss, but it backfires every single time. Low energy, obsessive cravings, nighttime binging, and hormonal chaos. If your body feels like it's in survival mode, it's not going to let go of fat. It's going to hold on. You need to fuel your body to teach it that it's safe to change. You're not here to shrink yourself through punishment. You're here to fuel your goals. Prioritize protein, every meal and every snack. Protein is the queen of fat loss. It keeps you full. It builds muscle, which boosts your metabolism. It reduces cravings, and it helps stabilize your blood sugar, which is a game changer for mood, energy, and food control. So start simple. Aim for 20 to 30 grams of protein at each meal, and if you don't know how to check this, you can use a calorie counter app, or if you just turn whatever food that you're eating on the back on the nutritional info, it should show you the total grams of protein per serve there. I want you to add protein to your snacks. So these can be Greek yogurt, boiled eggs, protein bars, or protein oats. And plan protein first, and then build your meals around this. This alone will change your whole body composition. Build volume meals. I want you to be full. I want your plate to look abundant. Volume eating means big meals that are still low in calories, lots of fiber from veggies, and smart swaps. Meals that look and feel satisfying. Because when your meals are feeling satisfying, you don't feel deprived. And when you don't feel deprived, you stop looking for snacks every 2 hours. And don't cut carbs. Learn how to use them. Carbs aren't the enemy. Eating too much of anything is the issue, not carbs specifically. Carbs give you energy. They fuel your workouts and they help regulate your hormones. And they're delicious. And you're allowed to enjoy your food. Choose smart carbs, things like whole grain wraps, rice, oats, or sweet potato. They're slower releasing carbs, which means that you'll stay fuller and have more energy for longer. Pair carbs with protein and fiber to stay full. And avoid the no carbs after 6 p.m. myth. It's outdated and it's unnecessary. Enjoy your carbs, eat them, and use them wisely. Have structure, not strict rules. Strict rules make you feel like you're failing the second that you mess up. Structure keeps you anchored without obsession. So structure looks like knowing roughly how much protein you're aiming for, planning 3 main meals and 1 to 2 snacks per day, tracking meals if it helps you but not in a toxic, obsessive way, and knowing what your next meal is so you're not making 17 decisions when you're already tired. You don't need to be rigid. You need a flexible system that holds you, even when your life gets busy or messy. And plan real life in always. There is no version of sustainable weight loss where you'll never eat chocolate again, where you'll never go out for dinner, where you can't have a cocktail on holiday or a cupcake at your niece's birthday party. The secret isn't to cut those things out, it's to plan for them, to know how to eat them in a way that lets you enjoy your life and still make progress. This is how we stop binge eating, this is how we stop falling off track, and this is how we finally stay consistent. To truly change your life this year, I want you to build a simple toolkit you can rely on when things get messy. This is your vision board. Know where you're going. A weekly planner. Know what's coming. A meal list. Know what to cook when you're tired and go-to snacks to keep it easy. I want you to think about non-negotiables. 3 things that you do no matter what. For example, 10K steps, 120 grams of protein, or no self-shaming. And have support. Coaching, a community, or a bestie that helps you stay accountable. Now here are 10 habits that I'd like for you to focus on 2026. And before I list these, this is not for you to do all at once and overhaul your entire life. Now there's 10 habits here and I want you to pick 1 or 2 for every single month and start focusing on those. And then by the end of the year, you are going to be a whole new person. This is 1, walk daily. Number 2, strength train 3 to 4 times a week. Eat 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal. Sleep 7+ hours. Track your food, even roughly. Drink 2.5 liters of water. Plan your meals, even if it's just loosely. Journal weekly. Limit mindless scrolling. And do things that make you feel more like yourself. This year isn't about being the most perfect version of yourself. It's about becoming the most aligned version of yourself. The one who feels good in her body, moves because it makes her feel strong, not small, eats to nourish herself, not punish herself, respects her boundaries and speaks to herself with kindness, and actually enjoys the life she is creating. And if you need support and if you want someone to walk beside you, guide you, hype you up, and keep you accountable, I'm here. My coaching spots for 2026 are open and I would absolutely love to support you. The coaching link is below, or you can just flick me a DM on Instagram. And for those of you who don't follow me, my Instagram is just Brittany McChrystal, so I will tag that in the show notes. Now let's go out there and make 2026 yours. I will see you in the next episode.